And now I want to share my experience with actual tools. And I should say that I work as a Python developer, and most of my work is actually designing software and writing code. And now I can move off most of the writing code part to AI. I use four tools: ChatGPT, web interface. Now I use it rarely, mostly when I want to learn some very, very new topic. And I want to use a voice interface to talk to it, and I need to get some large context as a response. Sometimes I use it as a transcription tool to later give the transcript to another tool like Codex or Claude Code for implementation. But in early days, where was just ChatGPT, and I used it for everything. And I had to copy and paste things, and also this was contributing to my cognitive load. Now I'm using it very rarely, mostly for non-working tasks, non-work tasks, like to learn something that I need in my just normal life. Another tool I started using after ChatGPT when it appeared, this is GitHub Copilot. Right now I use it, and like from the very beginning I used it just mostly for tab completion, and now I also use it for tab completion. But given that I write very little code now, it's also very rarely used. And the two major tools that I use right now, they are Claude Code and Codex. Most of the code I write with Claude Sonnet 4.6. The reason why it's not Codex is that it actually does exactly what I need. It follows instructions well. It doesn't try to over-engineer or add things that I didn't ask it to do. And it's really good at well-defined tasks, which I actually do. Well, when I describe a task, I give it what method to change, in what way, or give an example of how to change it. Maybe there is an alternative or another piece of code that it can look at and do it in a similar way. So, and it does it very well. I use Codex mostly for research, to explore options, to understand the code base. That's my primary use of Codex. And for code review, I use both Codex and Claude Code, and I use Opus 4.6 for Claude Code because it's much smarter, but I don't need Opus for ordinary tasks. I actually try to save tokens. That's why I'm not using Opus for everything. And I'm actually quite satisfied with the quality of Sonnet 4.6. And sometimes when the task is really complex, I ask Codex to reason about it, to give options, even to produce some patch for me. And then all the results of research with Codex, I give it to Claude Code Sonnet 4.6 for implementation, and it implements it just well. So what other cases when I use these two tools? Of course, as mentioned, code review, refactoring. Now I'm just asking Sonnet 4.6, refactor this, refactor that. Even if it's simple thing, even if it's moving some class to somewhere else, and sometimes I even do this, like I move files, I add some malformed code to the file itself, and then tell Claude Code complete the refactoring that I started, and it works really well. Like most of the time, it catches the idea and it gets it done. The other thing I'm using it's fixing the issues that I found during code reviews. So I basically copy and paste the issue that I found with Codex or Opus 4.6 to Claude Code 4.6, and then say fix it, and it fixes it. Also, I'm using it for writing tests and for fixing tests after completing a feature or fixing a bug. So often there is like a new field added, and then you have to add it everywhere in the tests. It's really helpful for maintaining things, maintaining tests. Well, mostly that's it. So the main goal that I have now is to remove myself from the loop of AI work as much as possible. And recently I discovered a new thing that I'm doing is system administration with AI. I mean, I use Codex for it, and mostly I do it for on my laptop. And sometimes it reduces cognitive load. It's really great of running commands, grabbing output, comparing things around, especially if it's, for example, something about the network. You have to configure a lot of small things, and it requires a lot of attention from human, and it's just consumes your neurotransmitters very fast. You're getting tired very fast. And with AI, with Codex CLI, that's really easy. And then it has its conclusion, and then I say, okay, let's do that, and it does, and everything works perfectly. Of course, I do review the results of AI work. That's essential. I do the code reviews, I review the tests thoroughly, and I test manually. This is what I do for work. I actually have some fun projects, some pet projects that I do where I don't review the code at all. So, for example, I just vibe coded OpenClaw alternative for myself. From the very beginning, I didn't even look at a single line of the code there. And then I put it on the cloud and I ask it to improve itself. And I'm not looking at the code at all. But this is where I have my own risks that I can estimate them on my own and handle the consequences. But for the work, for the paid work, of course, I reviewed thoroughly, and I deliver even a better results than it was before AI, because AI, especially on code review, catches the errors that I might, not figure out, some edge cases that are not clear for me. And also the other thing that is very useful with AI, and you can go with less tech depth. The reason for it is that AI can fix things quickly, and instead of just writing a to-do command which will describe the tech depth, you can just say fix it, and it will fix you in several minutes, and you don't have to spend your time on it. So what I recommend you to use AI as much as possible. And the other last thing that I want to tell, that recently I started learning how to configure Codex and Claude Code deeply. All these different levels of configuration files, of instructions, skills. I even wrote an MCP server for voice mode, which is suitable for me, but Claude Code implemented voice mode just recently, and I guess Codex will follow. But what I'm trying to say is it's totally worth to invest into learning Claude Code and Codex themselves as tools, because if you use them with default settings, you don't actually use them at full potential. I think I started using them like 2 times more effectively after I invested some time into learning how to configure them. So, and the most important thing, go ahead and pass all those 4 adoption states of your mind to use AI. So basically loading of almost everything to AI, even if you know how to do it, even if you know that it might be not as fast as possible for, in the choices of doing yourself or AI. You still can offload, reduce your cognitive load. And also the point here that when you give a task to AI, you can switch to another task to do it in parallel. So you give tasks to one, several AI agents, and each of them are doing a task while you're switching between them, prompting them again, reviewing the work. And it will also increase your productivity. So thank you everyone that you watched till the end. See you in the next video.